Well, hey garden friends, it's Destry. I'm so excited because it's officially the 2025 gardening and planting season. And I have some haul things to share with you today, some things I was gifted over the holidays. So I want to show you some fun new things I'll be planting up today. And then I'm going to be going through my houseplant collection a little bit and showing you some of the things that are there as well. And yeah, it's just going to be kind of a fun planty afternoon. So I hope you stick around and check out the video. Well, if you're a planty person, you might have had some plant-related things on your wish list. I know that I did. I have some really generous friends and family that got me some really lovely things this year, so that was really fun, and I'm excited to use these and get these planted up and give some of my houseplants kind of a fresh start and a fresh home for 2025. I know I have some houseplants that I want to be using in these containers. I have some pothos that needs replanted. I've got some philodendron, and I'm just going to kind of look around and see if there's any other plants that are needing a new home and a fresh start, and some repotting in these really cool containers. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around and I'll show you some of the things I got this year. All right, guys, well, here are some of the gifts I got. I thought this was pretty funny gardening because murder is wrong. Pretty hilarious. I believe this set was from Amazon, and it came with both a plug and a screen, which is nice, is a nice feature, and has a really pretty texture, and I love the glaze on it. I think it's going to make some plants very happy. And then we can't ignore these fun hand towels that my friend got for me, I think at a local gift shop. Sorry, I have plants this weekend. And then there's this one, I'm a sucker for you. That's probably my favorite. I thought it was cute. I also got this really interesting book, which I'm excited to look at, 40 Devotionals for a Life of Imperfection, Good Enough. This is a cute little gift. It has these little cards, so you pick one out every day, and it's just be happy. So I really liked that gift, and I'm excited for that. And then this is a memory book where I guess you write, one thing that happened to you that day or one memory, and then it's a 5-year memory book. So that'll be fun to check out as well. And then this set of pots, nesting pots with the stands, I believe I got, Santa got those for me at Costco, I believe. This beauty was also in Amazon, I believe. It was on my wish list, and it's so beautiful. I'm excited to get it planted up today. And then these gloves are so nice, you guys. I'm so excited to try gloves. I don't know if you are like me, and just a fresh pair of gloves, it just feels like a fresh start. So I'm excited to have those for the 2025 spring season, and I'm really going to be using these. So it's nice when they're brand new and not all dirty. So I just grabbed some potting soil. I've been using the black gold since last spring, and I really like it. So I just grabbed a bag of potting soil so I could get these filled up. This was the last of the soil that I had in my greenhouse, so I'm going to need to pick up a bigger bag soon. This is one of the plants I'm going to be repotting today. It is a neon pothos. I've got this little garden stake that I made. It says grow, ceramic art. But anyway, you can see it's been probably in this container for, I would say, at least 2 seasons. I can tell that the soil level has gone down quite a bit, and it just doesn't seem to be thriving as much as I think it could, although it is beautiful. I mean, it is gorgeous. And again, that's kind of why I'm selecting it too, is just because I want to give it a fresh home and keep it, going well. And I think it's outgrown this container at this point. The house plant I think I'm going to be repotting today is this philodendron. So this one's in a terracotta pot, and I just find that it dries out very fast. And which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Again, the plant looks really healthy, but it is dusty. That's just kind of wintertime indoors. So I need to give it a good rinse off. And I think if I repot it, it will, grow bigger and just keep thriving. Over here, I thought I would just share my plant stand with you. First of all, I got this print at Joann's this year, and I really love it. I've got a really beautiful Thanksgiving cactus here. And it already bloomed this year, and so it's just kind of, you know, in its recovery mode. I've got another philodendron here, and it's kind of funny, when they put on a new leaf, the new leaf can sometimes look yellow. And so, you know, it's kind of interesting. Sometimes you think you have a leaf that's not doing well when actually it is. But look at the variegation here. Isn't that gorgeous? These leaves are just beautiful, I think. So again, it's kind of a variegated philodendron. So I want to take some cuttings from this one as well. And you can see it's just, you know, it's going all the way down here. Now I do have grow lights attached to this. It's just an IKEA shelf, actually, just a metal rack. And I have some grow lights. This orchid has rebloomed really well for me in these conditions. I think it is one that I'm going to have to repot at some point, but it's doing well. And then this is also a Thanksgiving cactus that blooms more of a white creamy color. It hasn't bloomed for me yet this season, however, but it did bloom last season. On this shelf, I have a little peperomia. It's kind of a vining guy. It's really put on a lot of growth. And I have propagated this once, so I'll show you that as well. But look how long that tail is getting there. So it could definitely benefit from some propagation. Down here, this gorgeous purple is the Tradescantia. It is doing really well. Sorry about that. Let me try to get in here and just show you. It's got that beautiful purple color. And then I do have, again, some kind of tendrils here that I might be able to cut and propagate. And then we've got this really pretty African violet. It often will bloom for me, but not this time of year. It blooms more in the summertime, I've noticed. And then next to that, another neon pathos. This is a pot I actually painted. It's kind of hard to see, but it has like a moon and some mountains and stuff. And then down here I have this really fun little light bulb terrarium planter that my daughter planted up, and we just stuck some little spider plants in there, so they're kind of hanging out, but it's doing well down here, and I keep it watered. And then a couple more pathos, and then this is the Tradescantia pups that I did, or the cuttings that I did, and they seem to be doing really well down here, again, under the grow lights. Right, so I've decided for sure this neon pathos needs to be transplanted. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of here. You can see it's just in a plastic pot. And I've had it in this little decorative basket, Goodwill find, so that's good. And now I'm just gonna loosen up the soil a little bit, and I realized I don't have a spade, so I'm gonna grab a spoon out of the drawer. Nice big spoon, okay. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this vessel. Now this vessel does not have a hole in it. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a drainage hole, but I think that this type of plant will still do well in that sort of environment, and I'll just be a little careful about watering it, overwatering it and such. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this in. Oh, that was an epic fail. Oh my gosh, epic fail, if there was ever an epic fail. Oh no, oh wow, okay, all right, let me just show you the mess I made. All right guys, word to the wise, if you're gonna do this, maybe do it a little bit more carefully than I just did. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Okay, I pause video, I gotta clean this up just a little bit, get myself tidied up, although not too much, because knowing me, I'll probably do it again. Okay, well, that's really special. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. Okay. Again, I've got most of it on this mat, so that's the good news. I'm just gonna nothing to see here. Nothing's happening. I'll go grab the vacuum for the floor. Okay then. All right, so I've got it pretty well filled up, and the soil's nice and damp. I'm just gonna go in here and loosen this up from the sides. I like this vessel a lot. It's not as heavy as you would think it is, I guess. Yeah, I can tell these roots are just all the way to the bottom of this. Right, so I'm gonna see if I can kind of flip this around and share it with you, even though I want to be pretty careful here. Oh, kind of messy to do inside. I'm used to doing it in the greenhouse. So there's the root system. You can see it's starting to circle, which is not a good thing, especially for houseplants. So I'm going to break that, that kind of habit a little bit, and then I'm just knocking off some of that top soil, because really that's the soil that really has the least amount of nutrients. It's been exposed, and you know, the water has gone through that area over and over, and so I think eliminating that is a good idea. Okay, these roots are actually really long now that I got them all teased out, so I'm going to go ahead and make more of a well here than I had. There we go. I want this seated down a little lower so that I can water it. That's perfect. Okay. And now again, I might lose some leaves, but I'm just gonna carefully like tease out these branches. And I haven't had too much problem with this sort of plant getting, you know, stressed after a transplant. But it can happen. So just know that, you know, you just took this plant out of the home it's been used to, and sometimes there can be a, you know, a learning curve almost for your plant to get used to its new home. Let's see how well I can do this. But again, that's part of this is change. You know, change is good, right? But it can be hard for people and for plants. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and break out my new gloves. Keep these gloves as my indoor potting gloves, I don't know. But I wanna transfer, I have some dirt in this pot. I guess I could do it from the bag again. I think it's gonna be easier though to do it from the back here and do it from this pot. So I'm just gonna move this over and use my spoon and kind of go slow. Fill this in. So now that it's all potted up, I'm going to take it to my utility sink and give it a good drink and kind of rinse off the leaves and stuff, and then put it in a sunny location. And then I might clean up just a little bit before I start my next repotting. So I really want to repot this philodendron, and I might take some cuttings from it at some point, but right now I'm leaving the length. I'm going to set aside my big container that has most of my dirt in it. That's working really well. And I was thinking about this one, but I don't want to go too big. So this is my other option. So let me kind of show you more up close. So here's the size of this container. So this would be an up pot, and I think it would be just about right, maybe a tad big. But the other one is pretty much the same size. So that's not going to do much for me besides refresh the soil, which would be great. But I do want to give it a little bit more room. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do this container. So I've got the little screen in there, and I'm just going to use my little other planter to dump some of this in instead of the big bag. Although I'm still still a messy process. I like this messy mat thing for projects like this. To do indoors in the winter is kind of nice. Okay. So this one does have drainage. Oh yeah, this is going to be perfect, I think. So I'm just going to make a well. And if you're struggling with potting up as well, maybe check your soil and make sure it's a little bit damp. So let me kind of show you. I like the soil to be damp enough to sort of, I don't know if you can see that, but kind of stick to the sides of the vessel. So when I'm pushing it up, it kind of sticks. So if you're struggling with like, and sometimes it can just be a matter of like wetting down the soil, and that can work well. So I'm using that same idea here. I'm just using this spoon. I think this spoon I've used for more plant projects than probably for eating, so I think I just need to store it with my plant stuff. It's nice and flat, so it works really well for jobs like this. Now the soil I'm taking this out of is a little dry, but that's kind of one of the struggles I've been having with this little philodendron is that it dries out super fast. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to hold up the roots because otherwise I would have dirt all over the place. But I am going to knock off a little bit of this extra dirt into the old pot, and some of it fell here. So I'm going to scoop out and find my well again. Okay. So I don't know if you can see that at all, but that's the root system. I might be able to bring it over. Oh, there it is. I did it. Okay. Anyway, back in your home now. Okay, baby. Oh, yeah. And now I'm using the back of the knife and I'm kind of pushing the soil up against that root ball and some of that old soil. So I kind of like make a hole, back it away, put the plant in, and then bring that back up, if that makes sense. That's what works for me. So now I'm pushing around, and now I'm going to fill it kind of around that well again. And I kind of do wish I had a bigger shovel, but that's okay. This is working. So I'm just adding a little bit more around the edge now. And I do want to leave a lip for watering, you know, so I don't want to do too much here. And I'm just going to compress that soil again. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and water that in. So let me kind of see the after here. So here he is. And I did angle it a little bit towards this front part. I mean, philodendrons are so gorgeous the way that they hang. So it's a little, if you look at the backside, it's a little like angled forward. So that kind of works for me. And then you really see that pretty front part of the plant. So this is one I've propagated before. I have a small propagation and I might go ahead and add it back into this plant. That's another way to make it more full at the top. And then I might go through and just even out, you know, some of this. I could take a clipping here or here, but for now, I think it looks great. Well, I went ahead and took a look at my houseplant collection, and I don't see any plants right now that really need this big of a container. So I think I'm gonna wait on this container, and I think I'm gonna wait on this container. Now, the other thing I could do with these is put, you know, a plastic pot inside of this and use this as a cover pot. And that way the ceramic would stay nice and clean, especially for indoor planters. So I'm gonna have to think about where I'm gonna use this set. So I'm gonna hold off on that, but I did find a really good match for this little pot. So let me share with you. I've got this aloe vera that's doing really, really well. And I think it would be just about the right size for this as an up pot. Now I don't have any cacti mix, but I think that it'll be all right. I'm gonna try to use as much of the, hold on, wasn't there a screen? Where'd that screen go? I'm going to try to use as much as the cactus mix that I think this is potted in, and then just up pot it into this one. I tend to like white pottery for indoors, although I do have, you know, some colored as well. But usually the ones that I gravitate towards are white, and then your collection looks a little bit more cohesive that way. All right, so I'm just gonna loosen up the pot here, just kind of push it around, and then I'm gonna try to just flip this over quickly and get it in its new home. Oh yeah, I don't think that was actually cactus mix either, now that I'm looking at it. But it's nice to get it out of a nursery container and into something a little bit more permanent. Yeah, this looks like regular potting mix to me, which again, probably better to have a succulent mix, but not totally necessary. The soil a little bit too before I push down too much, but here it is. So that'll give these a lot more room to grow, and they'll just continue to fill in. Got to work on this guy a little bit. He's flopping over a little bit, but I like that container for that. All right, well, here are how the planters turned out. You can see everyone had a good rinse down and a good drink to kind of settle everybody in. And I think they turned out really beautiful. I'm excited to see how they do. I do kind of want to train this one, I think, over more to the side just so you can see the pretty vase. But I do really like it, and I'm excited to have these in my home and add them to my houseplant collection. Well, not add them, I guess I've had them, but you know, they look better than they did. They got a makeover for sure. All right, guys, well, I think that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for checking out, some of the gifts that I got for the holiday season. I hope that you liked looking at that. And I hope you were inspired to maybe look at your houseplant collection and see what its needs are, or maybe start a houseplant collection. So I hope you are having a great start to the new year. Be sure to stay tuned to the channel because I'm going to have an amaryllis update coming for you. I have some houseplant tour planned for you and just a lot of really fun ideas for videos for 2025. So be sure to stick around. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm Desiree, and if you need me, I'll be doing some gardening. I'll see you next time. Bye.